as you can see, I had to cut the video. I ran into someone from my bus, one of my friends, so I had to have a conversation with him, which is fun. But so what happened is, so I'm watching that. I'm on the 9th. No, I'm right at the end of the 9th. I'm on the last episode. So I guess you could say technically I'm on the 10th season of the show. Now, if you're like a younger person, which I know most of the people that watch my videos are not, but if you are, don't watch it. I'd recommend waiting until you like know what swears are and like have had the talk and stuff like that, because there's that kind of stuff in there. It's like swears and scenes, so you can fill in the dots about what I just bleeped out. But there's Sam and Dean. They go on, they hunt monsters pretty much, like vampires, demons, angels. Well, not angels actually, that gets revealed that they're real in season 4, so it takes a little bit to do that. But gosh, I know what happens is their dad basically, so let me get you filled in with the backstory of these guys. Basically, their backstory is that their mom made a deal with, so the demon's real name is Azazel, but they don't know his real name yet until they killed him. And since he has yellow eyes, they called him the Yellow-Eyed Demon. And pretty much, Jesus, these sidewalks need to fix. Pretty much what happens is she makes a deal with him. Mary Winchester is her name, makes a deal with the Yellow-Eyed Demon to save John Winchester, Sam and Dean's father. Which, by the way, Sam and Dean are Winchesters, just so you know. But basically what happens is they so the mom dies by getting her stomach cut, and then she burns on the ceiling. You know, gotta have those ashes. Yeah, but then the house burns down, so they didn't really get any ashes. But is basically so she dies that way, and years later, Sam runs off to college because he doesn't want to be a hunter anymore. So he runs off to Stanford College, and I need to stop talking because there's people. He gets a girlfriend named Jessica. I'm not absolutely sure if it's girlfriend or fiance. I'm not sure actually. I think it's just girlfriend. So basically, they're together and they're in a happy, fun relationship. They're very cute together and everything. But what happens is John Winchester, Sam and Dean's father, go missing. He goes missing. So when he's missing, Sam and Dean have his journal that they get. I think it's maybe around the 4th episode, because they find a motel that he was staying at, and they finally get to get his journal, and they get to see what kind of crap he's been doing, pretty much. And so they get to see what he's been doing. So they pick up where he left off, pretty much. Because there's parts of his journal that list specific cases, for example, vampires, some demons, that kind of stuff. Basically, they exist, but so they have to pick up where they left off. And also, Wendigos are goblins. They're goblins instead of Wendigos, which is funny because I always thought Wendigos were deers, but I guess not. Deers. But that's what they do, and then eventually they find old Jenna boy. But they only work with him for a little bit because Dean, they get into a massive car crash, and Dean pretty much dies, but he isn't completely dead. There's still something that's holding him to the human realm. What happens we have no idea. I mean, maybe he's just in a coma. That's probably it. He is still a soul, so he can still technically communicate with the living. And what he does is he so Sam gets a Ouija board, and they communicate, and he tells him what's going on. Now, it's an important thing. This girl, who's also apparently so pretty much, she her name is Tessa. Now, she isn't actually a soul. She's actually a reaper. Now, with this show, there's multiple reapers. There isn't just one. There isn't just the Grim Reaper. There's a lot of reapers, actually. And and Tessa is trying to collect Dean, as you could probably see, since she's following him around. But what happens is he figures out what's happening. And that pretty much happened. But soon, they find out that Azazel, the LY demon, is trying to, because when he was Mary, before she so when she made the deal, of course this was a deal with the demon, so she forgot some things. What happened is he gave baby Sam, when Sam was still a baby, and he broke into their house and killed Mary. Flame on the ceiling. What happened was pretty much. He gave Sam some demon blood, and he was planning on making Sam the leader of his demon army, or his demon army that he'll end up having. And just long story short, Sam doesn't become the leader, but Sam does try to go and study. But Jake, another kid that he tried to go, because he knew that not all of them were going to obey, so he had to do a lot, pretty much, is my point. He had to make sure pretty much he had to do that to multiple kids, give multiple kids psychic or demon or whatever kind of powers they have. Because I need to mention, if you have demon blood in you, you're technically still a human, but you can do psychic abilities and all that stuff. So Jake, another kid, ends up killing Sam, so stabbing him. And I must mention, there are these crossroad things where the crossroads pretty much happens Dean makes a deal with the crossroads, and here's the problem. Before this, they had already killed multiple crossroad demons. And one of them... Hello, doggy. And, one of the demons were really powerful. Very powerful, important crossroads demon. I forget who they were. But let's just say the rest of them were not very fond of the Winchesters. So usually when you make a crossroads deal, you get 10 years left, and then hellhounds come and kill you pretty much. But like I said, the crossroads demons were not very fond of Dean and Sam. So when Dean tried to make a crossroads deal to save Sam's life, the demon was not very keen to make a deal with him. So what ended up happening was they did get the deal, but he Dean only got 1 year instead of 10. So Dean goes to hecky. He goes to hell, and after he goes to hecky hell, he was still important to something, which was the demon apocalypse. Now, apparently he was the chosen one because down in hell he got tortured, basically, for because even though he was only in hell for 4 months, it was 4 months, to him it felt like 40 years. So he thought he was down there getting tortured for over 40 years. And by the time the 30-year mark came, he couldn't do it anymore. And he became the one getting tortured. Because every day, Alistair from Houseman Hotel, this guy is completely different. He would come and he would say, Dean, if you get fed up with the torture, you can become the one doing the torture. And eventually, like I said, when the 30th year came around, or at least what felt like the 30th year, it was actually only 3 months, he basically he cracked and he became the one doing the torture. And what happened was, like I said, the demon apocalypse was happening, or at least was about to happen. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why Dean was important. By the time that he did the first torture, one of the first is, they're called seals, the 66 seals, where Lilith, one of the demons, she's a very powerful demon. She, pretty much, she wants to start the demon war, or demon apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. Armageddon. The first seal of the 66 seals was basically an innocent soul, well, a good soul, gone bad. Now, despite all the crap that Dean got himself into and all the crap that he did, his intentions were always good. So it still made him a good, pure-ish soul. So it would be a good soul gone bad. And the first seal was pretty much him torturing one soul. One soul that was the first seal, which basically that means he is the one who started the apocalypse. But the only one who can end it is the one who started it. So they had to get Dean out of Heck. So these angels, season 4, pulled him out of Heck. Now, the person who was assigned to do this, his name is Castiel. Now, I'm sure you know that I only made one edit of him, but he gets crap. He's my favorite character. Not favorite character, plural. Plural. No, my favorite character. My favorite angel is Castiel. So, the angel who got assigned to get Dean out of Heck was Castiel. And Castiel was originally a very bad guy. He killed thousands of people. He was forced to, one time, his memory got wiped when he did this, because here's the thing. Castiel is one of the good angels. He, every time he was forced to kill souls or any type of soul, he would help. He would say, "This is wrong, I don't want to do this." So Naomi, when it was Naomi, she would brainwash him into thinking that it never happened, and he would keep doing it and doing it. She would keep doing it and doing it. So what happened was he eventually rebelled for Dean and Sam because he was tired. Like, he couldn't do this anymore because he knew it was wrong at this point. So what happened was he, oh my god, this is almost 20 minutes long. He basically, which I'm gonna sit out here. I'm gonna sit out here on my Wednesday because I'm tired. Okay. So, see. What happened is, he realizes what he's doing and doesn't want to do it again. So, he ends up rebelling, and like I said, he did it for Sam and Dean. But at that point, it was like, it's too late, pretty much. So, Naomi could barely mind control him anymore. At least that's my theory. She couldn't wipe his memory anymore. So, what was I saying? What she did instead was torture him until he agreed to not serve Sam and Dean anymore. I'm just gonna... My morning. So he got tormented, and which makes me sad because he's like my favorite character, but whatever. What happened was he Christ. What happened was he became evil again. He just didn't really help them anymore, and then eventually when the apocalypse was about to start, he helped them again and helped Dean get out of heaven so that he could help, Dean and Sam. So what happened is basically they end the apocalypse, and then they find out that Michael the Archangel and Lucifer, their true vessels are Sam and Dean. So Sam is Lucifer's vessel because the younger brother, rebellion of the father's plan, which was supposed to signify him running off to Stanford, and the older brother, loyal to an absent father. Dean was always loyal to John, even though he barely ever saw him and he barely knew the man. So that's that's why they're vessels. But then Kevin Tran comes along, and so I gotta mention Sam, he lets Lucifer in, but he ends up being able to fight it off. So, may I mention, one of the best quotes is in that episode. Castiel explodes Michael, which Michael was in, I must mention, who Adam, it's either, I forget I don't know if his real last name is Winchester, but he's technically John's son, but different mother, so half brother to Sam and Dean. And since Michael wasn't able to get Dean to say yes, he instead went into Adam. So Adam, I'm sorry, my lips, I can't. Adam is the one that was there. So Lucifer / Sam threw them both into the pit. And Lucifer was stuck in this thing called the cage. And it's basically where he was stuck there for millions, probably trillions of years. And he, when he was there, he was stuck there, pretty much. So Sam, when he got in there was Lucifer and Sam and Adam and Michael. Now, even though they were in their bodies, technically they split up. So Sam got cage trauma where he was tortured and tormented. And what happened, importantly, was crap, I forgot. So Sam got trauma, and it was really bad, and he was like traumatized, but it hurt him a bunch. So what they oh, so stupid. Castiel technically became human for a moment, but then he became angel again. He erased all of his cage trauma, and then Castiel got it when he erased it. So he basically transferred the trauma. And what happened was Cass became like crazy, which a lot of people say this is his crazy stage. You want to know what I call it? All he does is he plays sorry. He's like super sad, and like he says sorry to Dean and everything, but like Dean gets super mad and all that. No, I don't call this his crazy stage. I call this his autistic era. I'm not making fun of autistic people when I say this. I'm not. It's just from what I know from autistic, which please correct me if I'm wrong. From what I know from autistic people that I know, this is what they're like. So I call it his autistic era. What happened is crap, I keep forgetting. Sure, Kevin Tran comes along, and they start, holy crap, that is sharp. Ow. And what they do, they try and, because Kevin Tran is a prophet. Now, I must mention who Chuck Shirley is. Now, Chuck, I'm not going to reveal who he ends up being, but Chuck pretty much, he was a writer. He was a prophet. He basically wrote stories about, because he would have visions and all that stuff about Sam and Dean, like a prophet does, and he would write it all down in a book, which was titled Supernatural. Now in reality there isn't any book of Supernatural, I don't think so at least, but there is the show, obviously. But with so there can only be one prophet at a time, and Kevin Tran, he becomes a prophet. Now, they assume that Chuck's dead, but he's not. You'll find out who he is if you watch the show. But Kevin Tran, they work together, to close the gates of hell. Now, while they're doing this, Mr. Sam, he has to do the trials. He's the one that does the trials. Now, him, the Sam, got super sick and basically was about to die. So they called it off and they didn't close the gates to hell. And instead, they got the angel Ezekiel. It's either Ezekiel or Ezekiel. I'm not absolutely sure. But what he did is he possessed Sam. And he helped Sam get better and all that stuff. Now, this isn't actually Ezekiel. You'll find out who he is because I forgot his name. I hate him so much. I think he does end up being good, maybe. But Metatron has this angel working for him. Now, I must mention who Metatron is. Metatron wrote some spells and stuff like that to help close things. Now, he can close the gates to heaven, and they want that because it was absolute war up there because God wasn't there. Like I said, loyal to an absent father, Michael. So that's how you know absent. So God wasn't up there. So there was entire war and everything. So Castiel and Metatron worked together to close the gates of heaven. Now, you gotta remember something here. He was but he becomes evil, pretty much. He has evil intentions. Basically what he does, he wants to take over humanity and become the new God. That's why he shut down heaven, so that he could become God. And that, oh, by the way, after they find out who the angel really is, the angel gets assigned, when he's still in Sam, he gets assigned stuff to do for Metatron. And he kills a lot of people, and he ends up killing Kevin Tran. Anyway, I'll see you guys later, because I gotta get back home.